Welcome to the Wellness Lab Digest, where we help you to absorb powerful, life-changing insights from top wellness experts with our daily bite-sized wellness podcast summaries. Each episode is packed with distilled, powerful takeaways to boost your health and well-being. To support this podcast, please scroll down on whatever app you're listening. Ratings and reviews are helpful. Even better, just send the show to a friend. Check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page, or simply click the Support the Show link below the episode description.
This is part 2 of our 3-part series on how to build strength, endurance, and flexibility at any age. Be sure to check in tomorrow for part 3. Did you know that after age 30, we lose up to 5% of our muscle mass per decade if we don't actively work to maintain it? That's why today's topic of building endurance and flexibility at any age isn't just about fitness. It's about maintaining our quality of life as we get older.
Those numbers are really eye-opening. I've been reading studies showing that people in their 70s and 80s can still build significant strength and mobility with the right approach.
Well, here's what's fascinating about strength training as we age. Research from the Mayo Clinic shows that even 90-year-olds can increase their muscle mass by up to 50% through proper resistance training. The key is understanding how to modify traditional exercises to work with your body, not against it.
So what's the most effective way to start that journey, especially for someone who might be intimidated by traditional strength training?
Let me share something that completely changed my perspective on this. Instead of jumping into traditional back squats, which can put excessive stress on the spine, we can start with something called belt squats. The difference is remarkable. Studies show they reduce spinal compression by up to 70%, while still allowing you to build lower body strength effectively.
That's such valuable information for people dealing with back issues. How do you structure the training to ensure consistent progress?
You know, this is where the research gets really interesting. While traditional wisdom pushed for 12 to 16-week training cycles, recent studies show that shorter 4-week cycles can actually lead to better adherence and similar strength gains. It's like breaking down a marathon into several 5K races, much more manageable psychologically.
That makes me think about how this applies to endurance training too. Have you seen similar benefits with shorter cycles there?
Absolutely fascinating results in this area. Research from the Journal of Applied Physiology shows that alternating between 2-week blocks of steady-state cardio and interval training can increase VO2 max by up to 15% more effectively than sticking to just one approach. But here's the key. You need to start with building that aerobic base first.
That's exactly what I was wondering about. Could you explain more about how to build that foundation properly?
Well, think of it like building a house. You need a solid foundation before adding the fancy features. Start with 30-minute sessions at about 65% of your max heart rate, where you can still hold a conversation. Studies show this intensity level optimizes fat burning while building mitochondrial density in your muscles. After 4 to 6 weeks of this base training, then you can start introducing those higher intensity intervals.
And what about flexibility? I've noticed a lot of conflicting information about the best approach to improving mobility.
Here's something that might surprise you. Static stretching alone only accounts for about 20% of flexibility improvements. The real game changer comes from what's called proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, or PNF stretching. Research shows it can increase range of motion by up to 30% more than traditional stretching methods.
That's fascinating, and probably not what most people expect when they think about improving flexibility.
Right. And here's another counterintuitive finding. Active recovery days can actually improve your flexibility gains by up to 40% compared to complete rest days. It's about keeping blood flowing to those tissues while allowing them to repair and adapt.
Speaking of recovery, what role does nutrition play in all of this?
The latest research from the International Journal of Sport Nutrition shows that timing your protein intake, specifically 0.4 grams per kilogram of body weight within 30 minutes post-workout, can enhance muscle, recovery by up to 33%. But here's what's really interesting. This effect becomes even more crucial as we age, with studies showing people over 50 may need up to 50% more protein than younger adults to achieve the same muscle building response.
Those are some really specific numbers that could make a huge difference for people's results.
And you know what's even more fascinating? When we combine proper nutrition timing with strategic training cycles, we see what researchers call a compound effect. Studies show that people who coordinate their nutrition and training properly can achieve up to 67% better results in both strength and flexibility compared to those who focus on just one aspect.
That really emphasizes the importance of taking a holistic approach to fitness.
Exactly right. And let me share one final piece of research that ties everything together. A recent 10-year longitudinal study showed that people who maintained consistent, moderate exercise routines well into their 70s had the same functional capacity as sedentary individuals in their 50s. It's never too late to start, and the benefits are truly remarkable.
Those findings really drive home why this topic is so important for everyone, regardless of age or fitness level.
Exactly. And that brings us to the end of today's discussion. And be sure to listen in tomorrow for part 3 of this 3-part series. Remember, whether you're 25 or 75, the principles we've covered today can help you build and maintain both endurance and flexibility. The key is starting where you are and making consistent, intelligent progress.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Lab Digest. If you have received value from the podcast, I have 3 asks of you. 1, share the show with your friends and send them a link to the show. 2, please leave a rating and review in whatever app you're listening. And last but not least, please let me know what topics you would like us to cover in the future. You can contact me by sending me a message using the Send Us a Text link below the episode description.